But we did mention also North Melbourne. I thought their performance was fantastic. So much pressure on Brad Scott, but so much pressure on the whole footy club. And when you make decisions like they did to rest 9 players, when you make decisions to recruit Waite and Higgins in the off-season, you put enormous pressure on yourself and you need to get a result. And all that weighed down on that footy club. And when they got 21 points behind on 2 occasions, they could have crumbled. And they stood up. And I thought it was a magnificent day, Caro. Agree 100% with you. I thought Brad Scott's coaching was fantastic. He was able to isolate Waite with Batchelor. He sent Gibson to Ellis. Hutchison had the Jacobs match-up, and I thought he had a wonderful day. And they lived to fight another day.
He's had a great season since he came back from that back injury. It's been a different story for North Melbourne, really, hasn't it?
Fantastic.
And it's good. I mean, really, you'd say they're quite even, the teams, maybe to look at them on paper. Richmond won 2 more games, don't count the last one because we know what North did. So it wasn't really 5th versus 8th. But you'd have to say now, if they can go and beat Sydney, he's taken North Melbourne, and I think they can, to 2 successive preliminary finals.
Unbelievable effort.
And that is totally... Well, does he also come out of contract at the end of next year?
Next year, yeah.
Yeah, well, I reckon he'll be getting another one as well.
Well,
he will be getting another one.
And the resting of the 9 players was always a contentious issue. They ran over the top of them. They were full of run. Richmond also had 9 days as well, so it shouldn't have been a big issue. So you'd have to give them a massive tick, Hutchie. The North Melbourne Footy Club have done a magnificent job, and even you would have to concede.
Yeah, they have, and I think they'll beat Sydney on the weekend too.
What a wonderful effort that'll be.
And, you know, I questioned them after the Gold Coast loss and weeks since then. And I stand by everything I said, probably except Jared Waite, who at that time I said had been a failure at the North Melbourne Footy Club, and clearly since then he played a game that probably was worth the cost to pick him up alone yesterday. It depends how you define success though, Gary, because they have got some brave decisions they still need to make, and I would hate to think that win and maybe next weekend's win...
Don't worry about that, Hutchie.
...stops them from making...
Because they're in contention. Don't worry about that.
No, they're not a premiership contender. They're not. They're a 5 to 8 team, just like they were a week ago.
Says who?
Gary, they can't win the flag.
Hutchie, they're in contention.
If they make a preliminary final...
Hutchie's dug himself so far into a hole now, he can't get himself out.
How can you say by making a preliminary final 2 years in a row, a club that was on its knees a few years ago in an 18-team competition, that's not good enough?
If your aim is to make second week of finals...
No, their aim's to win the premiership.
If that's how you define success...
You're not listening. Their aim's to win the premiership.
Well, they can't win with this team.
Well, that's according to you.
And they're not close.
You could be wrong.
And they think they're close.
No, you could be wrong. You thought Richmond were a huge chance to win the premiership. You were...
I thought they'd make the prelim.
No, you were wrong.
Yeah,
and you could be wrong here. Because what they're doing is continuing to defy you. And that's embarrassing for you.
No, but you rate success differently than what I do. I think we play to win the flag.
Well, hang on, you told me that Collingwood are closer to winning the flag.
The North,
guess what, Hutchie? They ain't, mate, because they're drinking beer somewhere. No, they're not closer.
I don't want to belittle the effort. It was a fantastic win, and I think they'll win again this week.
Well, OK, now you're not making any sense.
Successful season.
Hang on, for the second year in a row, you concede that they are going to be in the final 4 in a prelim in contention.
It depends how you define success, Gary. Well, I don't think...
Hey,
I think we either win or we don't win.
I'll define it in this way. They've got a hell of a better chance than Collingwood, champ, right now.
This season?
Because they ain't playing.
Yeah, but they can't... North aren't a premiership contender.
No, according to you.
This season, yes.
Yeah,
that's why we're here.
And you could be wrong.
That's my opinion.
And you could be wrong, and they keep serving it up to you. Brad Scott?
I love it. I reckon he's coached unbelievably well after the back.
I still don't like the resting of the 9 players, and I don't really believe, I know people will say it did, I still believe that... I still don't think that's why they won yesterday. I think Richmond, they weren't dead on their feet. They weren't tired. They weren't exhausted. That should end, and it shouldn't be allowed to happen, particularly when it can manipulate positions in the 8. That would be my only cross to
That's
Brad.
an argument for rule makers, though. Yeah. Whilst that window was open, they did the right thing.
But I don't think that's what won them the game yesterday.
No, but it may contribute.
I know we have to move on, but what's the bravest decision they have to make? You just said they have to make brave decisions. What is it?
Well, they've got players 30, 31, 32 years old. They've about 8 or 9 of them. They can't play all of them and expect to win a flag in the next 2 years.
Actually, they've got kids, mate. They have got some kids.
Yeah, I want to see more of them.
Yeah, one of them was Taylor Garner, who played on the weekend, who you didn't think could play.
No, I never said that.
Hang on. Do not put words in my mouth. Had a massive impact on the game.
You've had 10 weeks of doing this.
You keep telling us how...
Don't put words in my mouth.
No, I can pull them out any day you want.
I've never said that. I've actually said I want to see more of these kids play.
Yeah, well, OK, Jacobs and Brown are playing.
Jacobs fantastic.
Brown's playing consistent footy. OK, they've got young kids that they took in the draft. Durden, who hasn't played yet. They've still got McDonald in the wings. Actually, you make out like this is it.
Play them.
I think they're getting it right.
See more
Don't you think they're getting it right at the moment?
I think they're playing to win week 1 or week 2 of finals at the moment. And I'd like to see them in the off-season.
That's insulting, Hutchison. That is the greatest insult you could ever... And if Brad Scott was here, you wouldn't have the courage to turn around to him and say, you're only playing to win one final.
That's my opinion.
No. Would you say to Brad Scott, listen, Brad, you're only playing to win one final?
I am rapt for them winning yesterday.
That's what you just said. You think they're playing to win one final.
It depends how you define success.
That is the greatest insult you could put on a footy club.
I think that they have got some decisions to make on their list.
I think they're embarrassed,
I'm happy for them.
No, that comment you just made sums up your attitude to this footy club, and that's an insult to them, and I think it's embarrassing.
I'm rapt for them.
No, you just said they're playing to win one final.
I think that this team that they have now can't win it.
There's only one team, I reckon, that's ahead of them, and that's West Coast. They can't.
So you reckon they can make the grand final?
I reckon they could beat Hawthorn tomorrow. I think they could beat Fremantle.
Then that will be. If they can pinch one with this list,
Hutchie,
I'm their biggest fan.
I respect your opinion, and I'm happy to have a barney with you, but to say that they are playing just to win a final is insulting to that football club and everyone who works their backsides off in it.
All I'm saying is...
That's a bad comment,
that this current team cannot win the flag, and that's what we're judged on in AFL footy.
That's different. You just said you think they're playing to win one final. That's an insult.
I think this current team needs...
that's different, mate.
Some change of blend to go the next step.
Well, we'll see.
And I hope they get a Treloar or a
Going round in circles,
we are. Right, what about Buddy Franklin?